I've been watching this for a few minutes. He's not looked into the camera yet. Right? That's their new tactics, isn't it? Because I know people are starting to lie, you see, we're starting to clue onto it. This guy does not look into the camera hardly at all. You know, they know, right, that they're talking to an audience within the building that they're in. But they also know the biggest audience of them all is the media. And they can't look at the camera and talk to his audience. He can't. He's been going on for a few minutes now, and he just hasn't done it yet. And all the vital policy headings and all that sort of stuff, it's just left, right, left, right, left, right, down, left, right, down. Doesn't look into the camera at all. Must be one of their new tactics. I'll let it play for a bit.
Objective. It also requires, therefore, an irreversible shift in the centre of gravity in political decision-making, as well as investment in this country. From its location solely in London, related to the north and regions and nations of this country. So on the scale of change investment needed, I can tell you that, let me just explain, Labour's National Transformation Fund.
Yeah, he's explaining to a couple of people in a room, from anything from 100 people to 200 people, if that, whatever, it doesn't matter. But his biggest audience, he's supposed to looking down the camera to and talking to. Yeah, he can't do it.
For the next 10 years, our Green Transformation Fund, upgrading our energy and transport and other networks, is to meet our targets and decarbonise as thoroughly as we can and as fast as we can.
Yeah? All the people in that room who listen to him know full well what their policies are. He should be talking to the public, because his main thing's the media. But they can't do it. Yeah? All those Labour people in there, they all know that he should be banging out on his stage to the whole country through the media, and he's not looked at it yet. If he was looking into the camera, the room would know that that's what he's doing, trying to talk to the people, but he does not. He's talking to the blinking room there, so he can divert left and right to avoid the full frontal, so people can see him talk his policies. That's called body language eyeball diverting. And using, I was talking to the lecture room or the hall, all the people in the hall, and you're just filming me. No, these people know that the camera and looking down the camera is the one. But he can't do it because he's full of it. If you can understand what lying eyeballs look like.
Council homes, once again.
Non-confident eyeballs. Lying eyeballs when they talk and body language to the policies and all that sort of stuff. You catch him out all the time, but he can't do it. People are cluing onto it. I'll put an example on after this how they've turned what is non-truth into truth. It's very, very strange, but it's subtly done. Still hasn't done it, has he?
A lifetime opportunity to upgrade our infrastructure for good. It's because we have no other choice. We have to do it. If we're to stand any chance whatsoever of tackling climate change, if we're to stand any chance of providing a decent quality of life for all our people.
He can't look at the thing.
Yes, and also
he can't look at the camera. He's looking everywhere but the camera, everybody. Yeah, everywhere he's looking, right, all know what the policies are, yet the people he's supposed to be blinking convincing, which is us. And he's not looked at us yet in the eye whatsoever. I mean, this is beyond a joke what he's doing. This is beyond a joke. He's not one eye contact with the people of the country. Not one. He's dodging and weaving the whole of his thing. No matter what he's saying.
We transition away from fossil fuels to...
What's he telling them people in the corner for? He's telling somebody in the corner that we should transition away from fossil fuels. Somebody right to his left-hand corner. Yeah, what's he telling that person in the corner for? They know what he's on about because they're all in on it to be sat there listening to what he's saying. That's the policies of the Labour. He's not. He should be telling the people. He hasn't even looked at it yet.
It means bringing 27 million.
Oh, there's one. 27 million. He said 27 million, which is a numerical, and you can say 27 million in an eyeball of a camera, and he's meaning 27 million. Yeah, that's an easy one. The rest of it is divert.
It means a national investment bank and a network of regional development banks, including one for the Northwest, using the power of government to raise money nationally and internationally. And new banks, including our Post Bank, to pass on those resources into the hands of communities themselves. But it's not just
Pass on to the hands of the community themselves. And he's talking to the person in the corner. He's not talking to the community, which is you lot watching the telly, or us lot. This is one big massive, yeah, divert away from talking to the people, because he'll probably have lying rubbish written all over his face. And that's how they avoid it. Like I say, I'll show you how they do things. It's strange how they can do things on adverts and what have you, and how we've all been conditioned and trained without even realising it to believe their lies. And now they can't, because people clue onto it. These people can't even look into the camera anymore, and they talk about poverty to somebody in the bottom left here or something. Yeah, still hasn't done it, apart from the numerical 27.
There'll be regional officers of government departments overseen by a board of local, county and city council leaders. With that...
Every bit of that print. Look at the diagonals of the microphones. He should be stood in there talking to the nation, and he hasn't done any of it yet. Not one. This is one of the best examples you can get as a politician, not just diverting. He's just talking to his own brainhead of moving everywhere but looking at the eyeball of the camera. He is one big diverting blagger. Doesn't matter whether the room clap or not, because they're all part of him. He needs to tell us, not the blinking person bottom left or right top high, which we're all conditioned to understand as though he's talking to us, really, because that's how they do things on award shows and media stuff and all that lot. But he cannot face down the plinth and look at us or nothing.
Treasury ministers will meet outside of London. We'll have a ministerial office in the north as well. What does this mean?
He's just talking to everybody in that room but the rest of the country. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he's the self-bubble feeding. They're feeding their own self-bubble policies without being able to front-face the public. There you go. I'll stop it there, because this has gone on 50 times longer than I thought it would do. The whole speech is non-facing the public. Right, very quickly, as an example, I said about believing stuff on what people say on TV, because how they manipulate it or do things. Now, it's nothing against this advert or anything like that, because this is what they have to do. What I'm saying is the art of the politician do this as well, but in a different sort of way. Now, if you listen to the words of this advert, right, which is fair enough, this guy, we look at him as a plumber. He could be just an actor, yeah, because he'd probably not be an actor, yeah, right? Could be an out-of-work plumber who's gone into acting, right? So basically, it's not a real situation, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's not real. Now then, the words used in this advert, right? Trust a trader, right? When the guy sat there, and as you can see his face and his eyes and all that sort of stuff, posing as a pretend plumber, the human body and the eyes and all that, the eyes are the windows to the soul and all the rest of it, that individual knows it's not 100% truth. So when you then hear the word trustatrader.com, and as a kid growing up, yeah, you look at that face and it's the word trust next to it, subconsciously you'll be taken on board that that look is a trusting look. I'm not saying the guy on the advert's mistrusting. He's being natural by sitting there knowing that he's not a plumber but on an advert. But the words put with it, trustedtrader.com, yeah, then puts out another message to those looking at it and growing up what the word trust means to how visually put together. It then says a different story, and that's why politicians can go on the TV, do certain body languages, diverts of not looking at the camera and things like that, when certain relevant words are used, because they know full well it does give the game away if you know what you're looking at. I'll let it go onwards and just play it to yourself a couple of times, and that is the manipulating grey area that people have been educated away from because of other diverts on the screen and stuff like that. That is actually being manipulated in the TV in the world today, on media, right in front of our faces. And that's how they do it. If you get me funky drift, just listen to it.
That's tightened things up at the back. Trusted Trader, sponsoring ITV London Sports Report. Yes.
Yeah, Trusted Trader. Now, what I'm saying is, even though he's acting the part, the windows to his soul knows full well it's not a real situation. Like I said, I'm not playing the advert or anything, but we, as people, as they grow up, look at that as well. He's a trustworthy guy. He's only working, doing an advert and everything else like that. No, he knows within his subconscious that he's actually not a plumber. And the eyes are speaking. The eyes and the body is speaking the fact that there's something not right there. Yeah? But if you have that information taken away from you as people, as an understanding, you'll be trusting a lying situation. Like I said, I'm not saying this guy's lying. This guy's being totally honest. But the situation's lying because he's not a plumber. He's on an advert. But they use a trust, yeah, with the face that's not speaking the right message, let's say, or the same message. Just watch it again. You'll see what I'm on about it. So basically what you have there is an individual, an honest individual who sat there earning a living in a plumbing advert with a face, and he knows inside his soul he's just doing it as a job as an advert and he's not a real plumber. And then up comes the things, trustedtrader.com. So it doesn't balance out, and that's the grey area that I'm on about. If it makes sense. See, because it's what's happening. If you get it, that's what I should say.
That's tightened things up at the back. Trusted Trader, sponsoring ITV London Sports Report. trustedtrader.com.
Yeah? There you go. You might as well be saying, yeah, we're going to put 25 million into the trains. Trustedtrainman.com. Yeah, like I said, I'm not knocking the advert, I'm knocking the grey area. If people clue onto this grey area a little bit without feeling they're knocking their soaps or they're knocking their pop stars or knocking anything like that, people will probably get the fact that, oh, I see where he's coming from a bit. And then you'll be able to look at these politicians and go, bog off, that guy's avoiding the truth. Because even that guy on the avoiding truth clip just prior to this, yeah, he can't even say trustedtrader.com when he's not one, if you get me. That's how dodgy he was. So well done this bloke on the advert here by just doing a normal job. But, you know, tough shite to the politicians who are manipulating the grey area of the words to the look. And then the avoidance of camera eyeballing and all that sort of stuff and relevant things. Because people are cluing onto it, and they're cluing onto it because we're more savvy with the techno world. We can face ourselves with being truthful on the screen, so why can't they?